Hello guys, welcome back. If you're new to my channel, hello, welcome, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for staying tuned with me as always. So today's video is going to be on my highlighting and contouring routine. As you guys can see, my flickish style of highlighting and contouring video. This is a quick disclaimer here. This is how I do my own foundation highlighting and contouring, okay, my own style. So if you want to know how I do all of that, then please stay tuned. So let's jump right into the tutorial. All the products that I'm going to be using will be listed on screen or in the description bar below, so please check them out if I don't leave it on screen. The first product I like to use is the MAC Strobe Cream, and this is really good because it helps moisturize my face. So the next product is my primer, and I'm using the Mana Override Primer. I talked highly about this product in my last video, my get to know me video, so watch the video to find out all I had to say about this product. And like I said, I like to use a pea size of anything I use. I look towards here because of my mirror. Next, I like to go in with my Smashbox Primer Water. I like this, and I spritz some all over my face. Next, I'm going to be using the orange concealer or corrector that is from the Sleek Corrector and Concealer palette, and I'm going to use this to brighten under my eye area and the sides of my lip area because those places seem to be a bit darker, like so. Then I'm going to use my damp beauty blender to blend that out. Now that has been done, I'm going to be using my foundation, and this is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation. This happens to be one of my all-time favorite foundation, but before I apply I have to shake it properly because that's what the instructions says. Then I take about 2 pumps first. I spread it with my fingers around my face. This foundation is buildable, so if it's not enough you can always go back and take more. So now that we've done that, I'm going to be blending out my foundation, and for this I just found this product. This is the Body Blender by Beauty Blender, and I really love this. This has been my go-to blending sponge for my foundation because it's really fast for me to blend with this. So I use the same technique I use if I'm going to use a beauty blender, but just this time I'm using a body blender. Since I didn't use any concealer on the top part of my brows, I like to use the sharp edge of the sponge to kind of clean up that space. Make sure you take what's left on the sponge down your neck area, the jawline. So once we're done with that, the next step is to contour and highlight. When it comes to contouring and highlighting, I like to use different products. I have a lot that I use. I'm going to start with the highlighting products. I have the NARS Radiance Creamy Concealer in Caramel that I use to highlight. I can also use, whenever I feel like, the LA Girl Pro Concealer in Fawn. Sometimes I use the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Enhancer in SX11, or I go for my Studio Fix Concealer by MAC in NW45. So today I'm just going to go with the NARS Creamy Concealer in Caramel. Normally you highlight the part that light naturally hits, so that will be the under part of the eye, the bridge of the nose, the chin area, the center of your forehead, and around your cupid's bow. You can apply this in dot, or you can draw an inverted triangle. I'm going to show you how to draw the inverted triangle on this side, and I'm going to show you how to apply it in dots on this side. You don't really have to be precise with the product placement. So here I have the inverted triangle, and here I have it in dots. Whichever way you choose to apply the product under your eye is fine. Then I'm going to apply some, not too much, on my forehead because I have big forehead, like I'm among the forehead gang. So I'm just going to place it at this part of my forehead, just somewhere here. Just something like that. I'm going to take back the sponge that I used to blend my corrector. I don't like to use the same sponge that I use for my foundation for my highlights because I like to make sure that I have some product of the foundation left on the sponge so that I can blend out the highlights with my foundation. I like to start with the other parts of my face before going under my eye area. And to blend this, you want to be going in the dabbing motion. The secret to achieving a very good highlighted face is to make sure that you blend the product properly. So take your time in blending. This is not obviously an everyday routine, so I would advise you do this if you're going somewhere or you want to look extra flaky that day. So you might want to create out time to devote to blending, because blending is the key. Okay, so if you want to reduce the shape of your nose, take the pointy part of the sponge and try to push in the product to the inner corners of your nose, like towards this part where your brow starts, that line, but don't get it to this end. Just let it stop at the part where the nose curves. So just take it in gently. So to blend the highlight on my nose, bridge of my nose, I like to use my MAC 224 blending brush. So I like to go like in a straight, like windshield wiper motion. As you can see, I didn't take it all the way up here. I just started from where I placed the product, which is this dented part of my face. Everybody has that, the part that goes in. I started from there and blended it just to the tip of my nose here. I didn't take it all the way up here or bring it all the way down, no, because I personally feel that's the only part that light naturally hits. Light doesn't get in here because of the fact that it goes in. So to cream contour, I'm going to be using this product from this concealer palette, like 6 concealer palette, and it's from Goss Makeup Artist Foundation. It's a Goss Makeup Artist Foundation. I think it's a collaboration with Makeupbymario Professional. So it has like 6 different shades. I'm going to be using the darkest shade there. I don't know if it's showing properly. So I'm going to be using this dark shade to contour, but I'm going to be using this one first and then this one. So it kind of has that gradient transition effect, like from dark to really dark. I'm going to show you guys. To contour, you want to feel where your cheekbone is, and if you feel like you can't feel it or you don't know where it is, that's fine. Just place a brush or whatever, it could be a card, anything. Place it from this top part of your ear, this part where your ear starts here, and drag it all the way to the tail of your brow. You shouldn't take it any further than that. So from your ear to this part. Even before placing the product, you'll find out that you can see a part of your face that looks naturally dark, and this applies to most people that I know that have cheekbones. You see it, like as you can see mine, it's really obvious here. So if you can see that line, I would advise you follow that line, but if you cannot, then use the ear to end of your brow method. I also like to place it around my forehead area, the perimeters of my forehead. This is because I want to make my forehead appear smaller, since I have a large forehead. Depending on how small you want the forehead to be, you can either bring it all the way down to make it look smaller, or you take it all the way up to make it look bigger. Also remember to place it around here, your jaw area. This helps in slimming down the face. And then last but not the least, you want to take a smaller brush. Please use a smaller brush for this so that you don't end up spreading it too far. And then take the same color, that's not the darkest shade, the second to the darkest shade, and then place this at the sides of your nose with a thin, I use a thin brush. And then here. So the V parts of your nose, you want to place it there. Now to deepen the contour that we're going to be seeing here, I'm going to use another small brush, and this is from RC Cosmetics, a small pointy blending brush. I'm going to take the darkest shade that I said I was going to use, that is this one, and then place it at the very end of that contour line that we created before, the very end. Do not take it beyond that. Do the same thing to the other side, just the end of the contour line that we created. I like to use products that are 2 to 3 I like to use products that are 2 to 3 shades darker than my skin tone for contouring, and 2 to 3 shades lighter for highlighting. So to blend out my contour, I'm going to be using the MAC 188 brush. It's just a simple brush. Sorry, mine is kind of dirty, but it's still going to do the job. So I like to go in the back, like windshield motion, back and forth, and then I like to take it up a bit. Then the areas around my forehead, I go in a circular motion, and I do this in a circular motion so that it doesn't create any sharp line, so it kind of blends the highlights with it. Remember to take this contour blending towards the hairline. To make your blending easier, I'll advise you hold the brush at the tip. Don't hold it here, because if you hold it here, you apply more pressure and then you're going to kind of move the product around. So hold it here to blend. Anytime you want to blend anything, be it your eyeshadow or anything, hold the brush at the tip. So by holding it, it softens the pressure, it softens the product and reduces the pressure you apply on the brush. Blend my nose. Like I said, I like to use thin brushes for my nose, so I'm going to be using this very thin crease brush. I got this from Switch Cosmetics. This is from their It's Mine brush collection, and I'm going to use this in the same up and down motion, windshield motion, to blend out that contour. Remember to try and blend them together with the highlights that you have around, so that it doesn't leave one sharp line. This is optional, but one thing I like to do is to use what's left on the brush, and this corner, this point, this dented part of your nose to that side, trace it to the middle and apply, use what's left on the brush, go sideways. This is going to give you that pointy lifted nose look. So it's kind of causing the demarcation there, which is separating the highlight, leaving the highlight just at the tip of your nose and the upper part of your nose, which gives you that lifted look. So once we're done with that, remember I said the foundation foam, I just like to go over the highlight and the contour to make sure that I don't have like harsh lines around my face. So it blends everything together for me. Because if I use the highlights, the sponge I use to blend my highlights is going to lighten the contour. Once we're done with that, the next process or the next step is to set your highlights. I also talked about these products that I use to set my highlights extensively in my last video. I think you guys should watch it for all the products that I mentioned. But I mentioned Sacha Buttercup setting powder, and this is what I use most of the time. If I'm not using this, I'm going to be using the 9 topaz powder, and I like to mix this with the banana powder. I don't use the banana powder alone, simply because I personally feel it makes me look a bit ashy, and for this I'm just going to be using this. So I like to use my booty blender, like Irishel would call it, but my beauty blender. Take some of that product, not too much. Before you apply your setting powder, make sure that you go over that area you highlighted one more time with your blending sponge, so that there are no creases. So if creases are already forming, you might want to do that, like blend it out again before using the setting powder, so that you don't set the crease with it. So I just take very little of the product, then I use it to set my under eye area. It's the same process that you use in applying this. Apply it in the dabbing motion. Make sure the product is not too much. Remember to take that highlight powder to the inner corners of your nose, the part where I said you should highlight alone. If you want, you can do the face so that you can stretch out your skin and kind of look up a bit when going to the lash line, the bottom lash line, so that you don't put any product in your eye. So the only difference between this style of setting and baking is that in baking you take more product, like you take a lot of powder and push that under your eye area. Allow the powder to sit for a while. That way the skin absorbs the number of product that it needs, and it sits longer, thereby setting that place and making it look like, just like the way you bake food, you put it in the oven and allow it to stay in the oven for a while. But I don't like to do that a lot because I have kind of dry skin, so it's going to only make me look more patchy, and also I just apply what I need to set the concealer and prevent it from creasing, and that pretty much works for me. Take with the pointy part, just highlight the center, that part of the nose. Already created the demarcation, so we don't want to apply the setting powder on that part because it's going to lighten it. Then use the body to blend everything together. To make that cheekbone pop, I just like to use the setting powder underneath my contour. Well, this time I'm going to apply more of that just underneath the contour line and take it all the way to the mouth area. So can you see the difference now? You can actually see the contour here compared to here. Here it's less visible, but here it's really obvious. You can also use your concealer for this, but I don't like to use the concealer because it kind of looks too much and not natural, and I'm all about the natural life. Okay, so I don't want everything to look, you know. So now to marry all the products I have on my face, I like to use my Bobbi Brown sheer powder because it's sheer, so it's not going to give me as much coverage as the full powder would do. And I like to go over the whole face with this. This will take off any excess powder and blend all the products together. Leave it here and call it a day. But if you're going for that extra flaky cheekbones contour, then you're going to have to set that with a powder contour. So to give it that extra oomph, I like to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills contour kit in tan to medium to tan, and I like it because the shades are not as dark as I have with some of my other powder contour products. You can either use that or you use the sleek contour kit, or if you have the Kat Von D Shade and Lights contour kit, you can use this as well. But for today I'm just going to use this. For some reason I like to use this with the Sigma tapered highlighter brush. I know it's called highlighter, but this works for me for my contour. Don't judge me. So I take Havana, a mixture of Havana and espresso. Dust off any excess. Using the tip here, I go back and forth on the contour, resting the other part of the brush up, so it kind of sharpens that line while softening the product. So then I take what's left on the brush and sweep it across. I like to take what's left on it and go over my forehead area. I don't like to apply more products here so that it doesn't look too muddy or cakey. To further contour my nose, I'm just going to be using Havana, which is the second to the darkest shade, and I'm using this on the MAC 221 brush. It's a very small, precise blending brush. This is actually good for your crease as well, but I like it. So I take very little product, like so, just on the tip. I don't go over the body, just the tip of the brush. Dust off any excess. Follow the natural contour line we've created before. Remember to take this into the crease area. Then remember to use what's left on the product to go over that line that we created in the middle to demarcate the highlights. For blush, I'm going to be applying the blush by MAC, and it's called Raisin. This is actually my favorite blush of all time. You dust this on the apples of your cheek, taking it all the way up. So you start from the middle, don't start from the inner corner. So the middle, dust it all the way to the temple area, and then blend everything. You can smile if it helps you to find the apples of your cheek. The next and final part of this highlight and contour routine is my favorite part, and you guys should know me from that by now. I love the glow, like glow. A lot of you have asked me how I get my highlights to be so obvious and popping and all of that, and the trick to that is this. I like to use, I don't know what to call it now, but it's not golden, it's more on the silver side. I like to use this as a base before applying the golden highlighter. It's just like applying a white eyeshadow before applying your colors. It's going to make the colors pop. So I apply this first, and then I layer it with my highlighter from Makeup Forever, or my all-time favorite. This product has been discontinued, and this is the MAC Gold Bronze Iridescent Powder. So I take not too much of this product. Be careful when using this product, because if you apply it, it can just go boom all over the place. And I like to use this small highlight brush from Zoeva. I dust the excess. As you can see, it's coming off. So I have, don't dust it too much or else you're going to lose all the product. So tap lightly, and then the top part of the cheekbone here. If you smile, this part, find the top part of the cheekbone just by touching it, and then lightly dust this on it. If you don't have this brush, you can as well use the fan brush. Another favorite of mine will be the fan brush by ELF. I like it so much. You can also use the dusting method. That would also help you, especially if you don't know where your cheekbones are. So just dust it. Can you see that? So if you leave it like this, it's going to be a bit ashy, but like I said, that's why we layer the highlight. So I like to apply it on my chin, forehead area, the part that we highlight, and very little on my middle finger, and then I tap on my nose, that circular part that we left, and blend it with the... I also apply the highlights just here to here, so you guys can see. You can also apply it on your cupid's bow, but I like to do this step once I'm done with my lipstick. Now it's time to balance it, and I'm going to use the bronze powder, the iridescent powder by MAC called Golden Bronze. Like I said, this powder has been discontinued, but there are so many available highlighters out there. You can use the Becca Champagne Pop or the Makeup Forever one. So, can you see that? Can you see that? So I like to dust. So check that out. From this to this. Bam. I also like to take some of the Golden Bronze iridescent powder, the highlight, and apply that to my brow bone area as well as the inner corners of my eye. This is going to attract light to those areas. Sorry guys, so if the lighting changed, I had to close the blinders because sun was becoming too much and ruining my show. So I'm just going to finish up my makeup off camera and I'll be right back. So the last and final step about my foundation contouring routine is the part where I spray Fix Plus. I like to spray the Fix Plus and the primer water together. So I go in first with the Fix Plus and then I use this to set my whole makeup. I need to state that if you're spraying anything on your face, be it the Fix Plus or the primer water, make sure that it's not too close to your face. So about 8 to 10 inches away. See the distance between me and the stuff? Yeah, don't come this way. No, this way is fine. So do it like that.
I don't want diamonds or rubies. I don't want houses or land. Give me the money to fly on the G5.
So there guys, that was my highlighting, contouring and foundation routine. Remember how I moved from this to this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to check the description bar below. I'm going to be listing all the products that I used on my face and some of the brushes that have names, as well as the products I used on my eyes and lip, because I didn't mention that here. And also please check the description bar below for my social media accounts. I'm also going to leave them here on the screen for you guys to connect with me. Please remember to give this video a thumbs up. Please remember to subscribe to my channel, and please remember to share this video with everyone and anyone you think will find this video helpful. I'll be seeing you guys in my next video. Bye.